Hello everyone, my name is Qasxz and welcome to another episode of The Joy of Building. Now, today we'll be doing something a little bit differently, a bit of a different style than you're used to seeing here. And I try to make different styles of builds as much as possible. So for this style of building, I'll be using a bunch of world edit just to make life easier on myself, but it is very much doable uh, to build something like this in survival. So first thing I did was I made two line commands. The I'm pointing at my screen, but it doesn't work. The line bit of the command is just a line between the points I've selected, and the 44 is the block type. Block type 44 being half slabs. Alright, so let's get that out of the way. Let's do the bottom of our build. And we're going with a cylinder, or sil for short. And we're going to use block type 43 colon 8. And with a height of, or a radius of 9 and a height of 1. There we go. Now these blocks, I'll show you real quickly. These are the double half slabs, but without a line. So see the difference? If I place them by hand, yeah, I guess you can't do that bit in survival. You'll have to choose different types of blocks if you want to do that in survival. Um, though there may be glitches in survival, which make it easy to get those. I know in the past it's been possible to get them, but I don't really keep too up to date with all the survival happenings. So let's get back to our center. And we're going to make a modern style skyscraper. So going to use the up command and we're going to go up 15 blocks. And we're going to make a hollow cylinder of the same block type with the same radius. And I need to do 43. 44 is the half slabs and 43 is the full blocks. Right, so we've got one floor and then we'll go up another 15 blocks. Let's go up again. And I'm using the arrow keys to go up easily. So that way I can have the same distance between each ring. Now, building a tower like this, not very interesting. So what we'll do is we'll make little sections that go out. So I'll make this section be our main block, and then what we'll do is we'll make it go up diagonally. So we'll make, that's why I like using the line command, because then we can make a line like that. And that's something that's pretty easy to do in World Edit. A bit harder to do in Survival. In Survival I would probably turn this around. So I would first make this line and then decide where I want my next floor to be. So I would go up. Well, I would start with going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks, and then another 6 blocks, and then another 6 blocks, until I finally get to where I want my next circle to be. And I would do that way. And I want a couple more of these sections, so what we'll do is we'll go outwards over here. Again, 5 blocks. But over here, I don't want this to be our block but solid. So what we'll do is we'll use the walls command. And that will just create the walls around it. If I would do outline, it would not work because it makes the floor and the ceiling of my selection solid. So I really need to use the walls command for that. And I want my lines to connect like that. So up here we can have a little balcony. Alright, so I want more of these sections. I want another section up here. And I can't place those blocks, so for now I'll use something nice and bright so we can remember to replace it later. I don't need that line anymore. And I'm gonna start over here and I'm gonna do the same thing but diagonally. So what we'll do is we'll make these lines like this. And then we can, of course, this is gonna be inside our building, so we want this to be the same materials over here. So we'll use the fill command. And we want a radius of 20 blocks because the way the fill command works is you need a radius for it and then just fills everything within that radius. Alright, so we want a bit of variation in where we make all our lines and our balconies and our shapes. So let's make this one go up like that, and then we'll have it go up 2 floors and then outwards again. Alright, like that. I'm gonna swap those blocks around real quickly just to make it a bit easier for myself. And then we'll connect it over there again. And I want quite a bunch of these alt shapes in my build to give it more character, to make it less boring. Because just having a straight tower, I don't think that's very interesting. So I prefer doing it this way. Alright, so we'll go out 5 blocks again over here. And note that on the I'm only making 2 kinds of things, or 2 kinds of sections. I'm first of all making the ones on the straight edges and the ones on the diagonal edges. And I'm not making any more variations in that. And what am I doing? I wanted to connect that one to the bottom. And I'm doing, for the straight edge, I'm doing 5 blocks each time. And for the diagonal edge, I'm going out 4 blocks. Because if you're going along a diagonal, you need less blocks to make it the same distance. So that's why I'm doing it like that. Alright, and you know what? We'll make it a little bit more interesting over here. We're going to go up 5 blocks. 5. And then up here, we're going to connect it. 5 blocks. Walls, 43:8. And then we'll connect this one to over here. And building something like this, I don't have much experience in this style, like a lot of styles I'm building. I'm kind of new to a lot of the things I'm building on this series. But this style really reminds me of a guy that I used to play Minecraft with ages ago. And I don't know where he is at the moment, but he, back in the day, back way back, for those who remember, when we were all playing on MC Server UK, which is long gone by now, he had this really cool futuristic style city with a lot of these buildings, and I'm kind of paying homage to his builds, although my first attempt at this style will never be as good as his years and years of work. Whoops, that's not how it's supposed to go. So usually the command I want is one arrow up and then it's the command I want. But now, because I've done the undo command once, it's kind of ruined. And that's why I undid and I had to redo. Alright, so I'm making all these fancy shapes and it's all kind of cool. So what are we gonna do to make our actual walls? Because, well, right now we don't really have walls. And I'm just gonna make a couple more shapes and then we'll start working on the walls. Alright, so I'm thinking I just want to connect this one up to the top without anything in between. So we'll do it like that. And as always, if you're building along, you can do this basically any way you want it. You can use other types of blocks. You can start with a shape different than a circle. I started with a circle because it's just easy to make, but if you want to make something that looks really good, I would recommend starting with something else because that's just so much more interesting to look at for the people that end up looking at your builds. And then you can also have more variation in where you build all your floors and where you connect all your little word escapes me, balconies and protrusions, I guess would be the word. Alright, so let's do walls over here and another section of 5 blocks. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 5, and then over there. We'll have walls over there, and then we'll connect this one up. Yeah, let's connect it up to over here. I think that would be best. And I'm just trying to get as much variation in where I connect these things as possible without ruining the idea of my floors too much. And I know that these floors, what I'm calling them, are quite large. They're 15 blocks apart, but these are, if you were going to decorate the interior, these are not going to be like your actual floors. I would split these in 3, maybe in 2 actually, now that I think about it. But I just want to have some some kind of standard places where I can connect my things, you know. Alright, so I want to do something a little different on the bottom floor. I have a hollow cylinder again with just 44 for now. Let's actually go down one block and make it our actual block slash hollow cylinder 43:8, and I want to have it 13 blocks. Now let's make it like 15 blocks. And what we're gonna do with that is we're gonna try to make our build a little bit more special by having on the bottom floor a little bit of a circle just being there. Alright, so we somehow need to keep these blocks while undoing all the rest. So what we'll do is we'll simply place blocks on top of each of them to remember where they were. And I don't want the full circle, I just want part of it. And now we'll remove the grass underneath each stone block. And this is a bit of manual labor that with a lot of knowledge of World Edit you could possibly get around, but since this is a fairly small build, I'm not gonna bother. But I am gonna bother replacing my grass using World Edit because I know how to use World Edit and it's just so much easier. So the number 2 in there stands for grass and the number 0 stands for air. Alright, so let's fill this with 43:8 on a radius of 20. And this one as well, because of course we want our block over there. And we'll have 5 blocks on there. 5 blocks on there. And yeah, let's use stone blocks. These blocks I'm using you can't place by hand. So what we'll need to do is we need to trace that bottom line using stone and then replace the stone afterwards. Oops. And let's hope I don't make too many mistakes, because look a bit silly. Alright, let's do the replace command. And a 1 is the number for stone. Actually, let's, while we're at it, connect it over there. Just because we still have the area selected. Alright, so that's gonna be like our back entrance. And now I'm doing this so that I can connect it like this, because I think that would look pretty cool. 43:8. And this again is just another different thing to add. But why it kind of works is because it's just a little bit of a different angle, but not too wildly different that it kind of breaks the build, you know. So I want to go down over here and then wanted to connect them. I'm deciding between this one and this one, so Let's check real quick. We'll compare the difference and then we'll decide, okay? So either we're gonna connect it like that. 3.8. Or we're gonna connect it one block higher over there. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with the higher one actually. So we'll undo both and then make them correct. So why we're gonna go with the higher one is just so that it's there's gonna be a roof on here, so it's not gonna be too connected, you know. It's just gonna be a little bit more free than that. Where's that block? And using the stack command, because that's just the easiest way to place a single one of those blocks. And as you guys know, I'm lazy, so alright, so there we have it. That's a lot of shapes, and now we need to somehow make sense out of this. And we're building futuristic, so I'm thinking either stained glass or ice is really good. Now the problem with ice is, I'll show you. If we have an ice wall like this, and then we want to light it on the inside, and 3, 2, 1, and of course it doesn't want to go. Anyway, ice melts if there's light nearby. Anyway, we're not going to use ice for that reason. If you're building on a surface where ice doesn't melt, by all means, go for it. Looks pretty cool. But it's not for today. So, alright, so building these walls, pretty straightforward, just fill them in. So I'll do those in a speedrun in a bit. Building these walls is also kind of obvious, I think. Just connect them up to the next layer and then continue going up, and then just fill in this triangle over here. In between here, same deal basically, just go up along the circle. We'll worry about detailing in our glass later, but for now we'll just make the entire thing glass. Trouble comes in the diagonal bits. So let's start with this one. So basically you want to go on the inside and then just see where the blocks are and then go straight up from the blocks. So we'll pick this block and then go straight up. And we'll pick this block and go straight up again. And it's as simple as that. Except when World Edit decides to do this kind of thing. So do I build both blocks over here, or do I build this one? Well, I know for a fact I'm gonna build this one, but that's because I already looked up here and I know it coincides with that one. So in these places you want to just have straight walls again and go up like that. And then probably the most difficult part to make a wall for is these diagonal bits. So we'll start going up. Okay, so far so good. Alright, we got this. Seems fine. And then, alright, it's one block out, so we'll go one block out. Let's do that. Nice and simple. be sure to remove all the blocks that you place to place another one. Now we'll go out another block. Alright, we'll do that. And oh, but we have world edit, so we can easily do this. Slash tag. It's about 5 blocks, I think. No, let's go for 3 more. So let's go for 8 blocks up. Alright. Fair and easy. Nice and simple. But I'll show you in a bit what's wrong with this. Or at least what I don't like about it. Alright. I'll quickly finish this off and then we'll look at our end product. Or our end product. Our little wall. Alright, so from a distance it's not too bad. But if you get closer you can see these blocks. It goes out one block and then the next layer it goes out to another block. So ideally we would want to have that transition a little bit smoother. So what I like to do, depending on the scale of your builds, for this scale I'm just doing 2 blocks. Just remove 2 layers over here and then connect it like this. Just have this one go down 2 layers. It's not going to be perfect that way. In fact, we'll have it go down 2 more layers because we want to have like that. We're gonna have 5 blocks on this layer and 5 blocks on this layer, and then a total of 4 blocks down. We'll do the same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now look at it. It's, in my opinion, a bit better. Now there's a couple things you might disagree with. Over here, these blocks are in front of the wall block. So what we could do is we'll move this one backwards 1 block. And now we still have the... Oh, and of course on this side also. We still have most of that smoother curve going upwards. But now we don't have it covering a bunch of our build anymore. But that's just opinion based, so I'm going with it like this for this build. Maybe next build we'll do it a bit differently. So what I think I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna have a little bit of a time lapse of me building all the walls, alright? See you in a bit. That's not the right one. Alright, so there we go. That's, I believe, all the walls all finished up. No, that's a lie. I forgot one thing. So to make these walls, I've used a lot, and I mean a lot of world edit commands. So for this section, I stack it up 13 times, for example. Alright, so what's next? What's next? I think next up would be starting to make our floors. So we want to get rid of these blocks. We're gonna use a nice and simple fill command for this. So this is why I've kept the glass blocks from the up command. At the start we used the up command and that placed the glass blocks. So I want to use 44 colon 1 with a radius of, no, I don't want to use that one. I want to use colon 7. I got the wrong one. Nice and white. I just like it. And then I want to use colon 44 colon 8 for this one. For the ceilings. So I'm gonna have a full block ceiling slash floor over here, but like this I can have a different ceiling as I have a floor, which is good for having those differences. But also you can use them to use these as lighting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use these in the ceiling as kind of modern TL lighting, like the little beams across. And I'm gonna put those in after I finished recording in the finished product before I take the screenshots and all. But I think you can imagine how that goes, so I'll do that at the very end. So I'm just gonna make my floors real quick. Not gonna make all of them, just a couple of them. Alright, let's use that one over here. Go down half a block. And then use that one. Alright, so inside it's gonna be very dark. But the good thing is I'm not gonna be inside very much. Because I'm lazy, actually, to be honest. So what we'll be doing is we won't be making an interior basically. Right, so this is the floor I was mostly needed to be done, because this one actually has a balcony unlike all the other floors. So as you can see, the 44 and 43 are the same blocks, but 43 is the double one. So basically, when you're telling it to make 43 1, you're just telling it, use this block, make a double. But if you're telling it to make the number 8, it tries to place that one, but it tries to make a double, but it doesn't know how to make a double downwards. So we get these blocks. So that's really useful, and that's why they're the same number. And I want some cobblestone walls. And I'm just gonna go along here, place some walls. And then let's make it nice and simple. Have some color variation in there as well. Use the sandstone slabs. Of course, you could use any other kind of slab or any other kind of way to make your balcony. You can place some iron fences or something like that. I choose to do it this way because I'm not planning to have many people run around in there anyway, and it looks great from a distance, I think. Right, so last floor, and let's go down a block and then do it again. Alright, and for now I'm just gonna keep these holes, but it doesn't really matter. Actually, we're not gonna do it like that, because this is the top floor. We're gonna only do our ceiling, so we're gonna have it like that. And now let's look from a distance. Our tower looks fine, but the ceiling is kind of flat, right? So we need to fix that. How do we fix it? We put on a helicopter. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a hollow cylinder made out of stone with a radius of 9. So it's the same shape as our tower. And then we're gonna go 2 blocks in this direction. I'm gonna have the same kind of cylinder. And we're just going to trace mainly the bottom one because the one that I've moved a bit, because the other one is easy to trace. And I'm just interested about that little area over here. So we can have this go up a bit. And I'm actually gonna keep this stone, wanna keep it nice and boring. Don't want to have it be too interesting. It's kind of interesting because I've extended that one over there 1 block further than I've done over that side. Alright, stack it up 7 times. So it's a nice wall up there. Nothing too spectacular, but we'll make it a bit better in just a little bit. Alright, so a helicopter pad. So what I want to do is I actually want to raise it a little bit. Raise it up a little bit so that it's, I don't know, looks like it can actually hold up a helicopter. So we're gonna want to use nether brick slabs on the edge. Same shape as our tower. And then on the inside I want to have it a bit raised, so I'm gonna use full obsidian blocks. And / fill, I think it's 49, I believe. Yep, there we go. And now we need a helicopter circle, so let's measure it out. I want to have it kind of centered, but not centered to the tower, of course, because we have this one over here. So let's see, what can we do? If we go over here, / hollow cylinder of type, no, let's go with 251 radius of 5. How would that look? Yeah, I think that would be fine. So let's undo it real quickly and move it down 1 block. 251 is white concrete. And on the outside we can see the circle, but I think that's nice and centered, alright? So we'll just fix it by putting these on here. I don't think many people will notice this if they're just walking around the build, but I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do, right? Alright, so let's make an H for helicopter. Oh, that's terrible. Alright, let's try that again. Let's try going from here. Yeah, that should be better. I want to have my H diagonal because if a helicopter is coming in, they would most likely land from this side and not from this side because there's the wall over there, of course. Alright, let's just finish this roof on here. Make it a bit more tiled. Just give it a bit of a top so it feels more finished, you know? Alright, and then of course we need roof access, so we need big sturdy iron doors over there. Let's put them like this. And then let's grab some andesites to give it a little bit of a border, give it some shape. Again, I'm not going to do the interior of this tower, but if you were going to do that, I would recommend putting in a ladder or something. Why is it still light in here? That's odd. Maybe if I place a light and remove it? Sorry guys, I just want to see this. No, it's just light. Alright. So anyway, that was the basis for our tower. And I think off camera I will be adding some details to this and also to the outside of the plot, but I won't be doing a full interior. Maybe 1 or 2 floors, and then you guys can see it on the thumbnail and the screenshot at the beginning and end of the video. But if you want to take a closer look at the full build, I would recommend heading on over to the Den. IP in the description is where I place all my joy of building builds, and we've got some lovely people over there, and most of the people there will be glad to help you build if you have trouble building for yourself. So anyway, that was it for this episode of The Joy of Building. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.